Hello friends, good morning. I hope you all are safe at your home with your parents. I, Chirag Wagela, welcomes you all in this my video lecture. And in previous lecture we have learned about the procedure of the share application. And now in today's lecture we are going to learn about the procedure of the share allotment. First of all, we have received an application. Then after we have decided what type of and how much shares should be allotted. So now we are going to learn about the procedure of a share allotment. Meaning is there of share allotment. Allocation of share issued among the applications received from general public against the share offered for the subscription and crediting the share allotted to the demat account of the respective applicant is called share allotment. Means whenever you have, means any person who wants to be purchased and who wants to be a shareholder in a company, and at that time they are applying for the share, and so they are applying for the same and company as per the rules and regulation they decide some shares and allot them. That is the known as the allotment of the share. Next one is the procedure of the share allotment. The procedure for allotment of the share can be classified into following stages. See, there are so many different stages in which the procedure of the allotment is divided. First one is the receiving the application and blocking the application amount in the bank account of the applicant by recognized bank branches for the ASBA procedure and submitting the application to the syndicate members appointed by the company for the public issue. First of all, on behalf of the company, whatever the recognized bank will receive the application, and they will block the amount of the particular person's demat account according to the ASBA rules and regulations, and the whole application should be submitted to the syndicate member. Syndicate member means a person who is responsible for the whole procedure of the share allotment is known as the syndicate member, and the bank will appoint them, and bank will give an application to that particular person for the public issue. Uploading details of the share application received like name of the applicant, class of the investor, number of the share applied for, bid amount of or cut-off price, application number, depository participant ID, demat account number, amount paid, etc. by syndicate member on electronic bidding system of a recognized stock exchange. First of all, syndicate member has to do all the necessary procedure, like he or she will upload all the details like name of the applicant, class of the investor, number of share who applied, bid of the amount. Bid amount means the whatever offered price, it is known as the bid amount, and application number, depository participant ID, depository number. All the details should be submitted, uploaded in the recognized stock exchange. Details of the application received are sent by the syndicate members to the registrar or to the issue and recognized stock exchange. All application received by the syndicate member and register it in a recognized stock exchange. Application received are classified into the different categories of investors like retail investor, new net worth investor, institutional investor, and employee of the company by the registrar to the issue, and a settlement containing all the details is prepared. Whatever application received by the company will prepare a list for the same. Say for example, retail investor, who are the retail investor, who are the highly net worth investor, institutional investor, company's employee, if there any. All the statement should be prepared by the company secretary. Basis of allotment among the application from the various categories of the investors is decided jointly by the registrar to the issue, lead manager, syndicate member, company secretary, and board of directors. See, according to the categorized, they have to prepare a base. Say for example, if any person who wants to purchase 100 share, at that time the whole procedure should be conducted as per the who have applied for the 100 share, the company will give only 50 shares. So this is the base where only 50 shares should be applied who have only 50 shares should be given where the 100 application is done. So this base is should be generated by the lead manager, registrar of issue, syndicate member, company secretary, and board of directors. These all persons meet at one place and they will decide a base for the allotment. Shares are allotted to the various applications on the basis of a pre-decided formula of the allotment. See, they will prepare a list, and according to that they will prepare a list, and according to the basis they will generate a share statement. Statement of the share allotment is prepared by the registrar to the issue and sent to the recognized stock exchange, depository, and SEBI. Registrar to the issue prepares whole the statement that company have created so many shares, and the whole persons who have applied for the 100 shares they will give only 50 shares. This type of statement should be prepared by the registrar to the issue, and it will send to the stock exchange, depository, as well as the SEBI. All three parties should be given a statement for the allotment. Shares are credited to demat account of applicants by the depository, and applicants are informed regarding the share allotted or not through SMS and email by depository and recognized stock exchange. See, shares are credited in demat account if company approved their application and the person is informed by the SMS or email by depository as well as the stock exchange. Both will inform to the person who had applied for the share. Thereafter, lead manager takes further action to the list of the share on recognized stock exchange. Then after, lead manager takes the responsibility to register their share in a stock exchange. Now, legal restrictions and provision on the share allotment. And friends, this question is asked in 4-mark question, and it is compulsorily asked in a 4-mark question. So you have to be prepared for the same, and it is the most IMP question for your examination is concerned. Now the legal restrictions and provisions on the share allotment. Certain restrictions are imposed on the allotment of the share under the Companies Act 2013 and guidelines issued by the SEBI. Some of them are as under. See, some rules and regulations is prepared by the Company Act 2013 and some guidelines of the SEBI. So these are the rules and regulations through which they have to take consideration while issuing the share. First one is the company cannot issue shares at a discount in a public issue. See, company has to compulsorily issue a share at a face value, not a discounted price. Next one is a minimum of 10% of the share issued will be reserved for retail investor in a public issue. Whenever company issue whatever shares, at that time they have to compulsorily issue a 10% shares for the public issue, reserved for the retail investor. See, retail investor, for retail investor compulsorily 10% should be reserved. Next one, all type of investor have to make an application through ASBA process only. See, according to Company Act 2030 and SEBI's latest guideline on at 1/1/2016, that this is most compulsory rule that if any person who wants to purchase share, they have to compulsorily apply for the ASBA process only. Only ASBA process through they can apply. Otherwise, they will not apply. Entire process of the public issue, including the opening of the subscription, accepting applications, allotment of the share, and listing of shares on recognized stock exchange, is to be compelled within 10 days. See, all the procedure for the subscription, accepting application, allotment, listing on stock exchange, whole procedure should be completed within 10 days. After 10 days, it will not be acceptable. Thereafter, trading of the share allotted will commence on a recognized stock exchange. See, after the listing on the share recognized stock exchange, then and only then after the transaction should be done. Otherwise, it will not be purchased or sale. Demat account is compulsorily for applying for the share, and the share will be credited in the demat account of the applicant only. See, It is compulsory according to Company Act 2013 as well as the SEBI's latest guideline 11/2016 that every applicant who want to purchase share, they have to compulsory open a demat account. Without demat account, they will not purchase a single share. At least 90% of the share issued which are not under right must be subscribed. See, minimum subscription should be collected at a 90%. It is compulsory. If you want to collect 1 lakh rupees as for the public issue, at that time 90%, that is of the 90,000 rupees should be collected as a minimum subscription. Otherwise, you will not be able to run a business. The minimum company cannot issue a share or if application received are less than 90% of share. That is the minimum subscription issued. See, if you have issued the 1 lakh rupees share, at that time compulsorily 90,000 rupees application should be collected. Otherwise, it will not considered as a legal. Otherwise, company have to compulsorily shut down their business. Otherwise, then after, if company had collected 90,000 rupees as per the rules 90% of the whole issue, they will commence a business. Otherwise, they will not commence a business. Company is required to issue share through the book building process if certain criteria laid down by the SEBI are fulfilled by the company. See, some criteria as well as the book building process. Book building process means whenever company decide some fixed price for the share, that is one kind of bid process. But company can collect a price from the public without disclosing their price, and company gets that the public reach at the one specific as well as the fixed price. At that time, that is known as the book building process. Say for example, I have one company and I have issued so many shares, but I have decided price for the share that is of 100 rupees. But now I would like to collect the price of my company's share from the public, and public had decided that the on our average my company's shares price should be 200 rupees. Then I have to keep my shares price of 200 rupees. That is known as the book building process. If shares are issued at a fixed price decided in advance, the company must get a prospectus sanctioned by the SEBI, and if shares are issued through the book building process, the company must get the red herring prospectus sanctioned by the SEBI. See, if shares are issued at fixed price, that is, I have decided the fixed price, but when at that time they have to compulsorily prepare a prospectus and issued it, sanction it by the SEBI, but the my share company's shares price should be as per the book building process. At that time, then I have to compulsorily made a red herring prospectus which are generated by the rules and regulations of the shares as well as the whatever price decided by the public for my company's share. As per that information, I have to prepare one prospectus that is known as the red herring prospectus, and I have to sanction it by the SEBI. A minimum of 5% of the face value of a share or the amount decided by the SEBI must be called up as per the share application money. While you are collecting the share money, share call, at that time they have to compulsorily call a 5% of the face value. But nowadays, as per the new rules of the Company Act as well as the SEBI guideline, whole price should be call up. The company must enter into an agreement with the recognized stock exchange for the listing of the share. If you want to list your share on a stock exchange, at that time they have to compulsorily made an agreement with the recognized stock exchange. The company must enter into an agreement with the respective depository company to credit the share allotted. Again, they have to compulsorily go through the an agreement with the depository participant as well as the depository for the share allotment. Minimum subscription and its effect must be disclosed in the prospectus. See, while preparing the prospectus, they have to mention what price, what should be the minimum subscription, and if your company failed to collect a minimum subscription at that time, what effect should be arise. They have to mention in a prospectus that. Say for example, if I have decided that my company's share will of rupees 1 lakh rupees and 90% should be collected as a minimum subscription, that is of the 90,000 rupees. 90,000 must be collected. If 90,000 is not collected at that time, I can not commence my business. See, this is the effect if minimum subscription is not collected. So I have to mention it very clearly in a prospectus. The company must have minimum net worth as prescribed by SEBI for making a public issue. See, minimum net worth I have to prescribe while issuing a share, and as per the rules and regulations of the SEBI and its guideline. If promoters have also purchased share in the public issue, they cannot sell such shares for a certain of the period as prescribed by SEBI. See, promoters have to compulsorily purchase a share in a public issue, and they have to compulsorily keep it with them for a certain period. This period is known as a lock-in period. Say for example, I am the promoter of the company, and while issuing the shares at that time I have to compulsorily purchase for the shares of such amount. But I have decided and I have mentioned in prospectus that if promoters have purchased the share at that time, they have to compulsorily keep it with them for 5 years. And I am purchasing the share of my company, and I have to keep it with me for 5 years, and it is compulsory. So that is the lock-in period for me, and it is of 5 years. Irregular and illegal allotment of share. Now, meaning and circumstances of irregular share allotment. Meaning, first of all, irregular allotment of share is when shares are allotted without fulfilling the statutory provision and restriction. See, without fulfilling the statutory provision as well as restriction, and whatever allotment is done, that is known as the irregular allotment. See, short and simple definition that without fulfilling the statutory provision and restriction, whatever allotment is done, that is known as the irregular allotment. A share allotment is known as an irregular allotment under the following circumstances, and it may ask in a 3 to 4 mark question. First one is the share are allotted without the receiving minimum subscription. If you have not collected minimum subscription, then after you will issue a share, at that time it is irregular allotment. A copy of prospectus is not filed with the Register of Companies and SEBI. You have to compulsorily file a single copy with the SEBI as well as the company register. But if you have not submitted the copy of your prospectus with the company register as well as the SEBI, and then after you will allot share, it is known as the irregular allotment. The minimum 5% of face value of the share or the amount decided by the SEBI is not received with the application. See, at present the whole price is collected, but minimum 5% should be collected while receiving an application, and if you have not collected so decided amount, then it is considered as a irregular allotment. Escrow bank account is not open with the scheduled bank. If you have not opened the escrow account and then after you collected so much amount of your shares and allotted the share to the applicant, and it is considered as a irregular allotment. Listing agreement is not made with the recognized stock exchange. See, listing agreement you have not done with the stock exchange, and then after you allotting a share to the particular applicant, then it is considered as a irregular. Agreement is not made with depository. You have to make compulsorily an agreement with the depository, but without making an agreement with the depository, you will allot share. At that time, it is known as the irregular allotment. Shares are allotted without observing the guideline issued by the SEBI and provision of the Companies Act. If you are not following the SEBI's guideline and provision of the Companies Act, then after it is considered as a irregular allotment. Information given in prospectus is misleading or incorrect. Whatever information you have mentioned in the prospectus and the whole information is misleading or incorrect, that is known as the irregular allotment. So these are the circumstances of the irregular allotment, and it may ask in a 3 or 4 mark question while considering your examination. Now the effects of the irregular allotment. When allotment of the share is irregular, applicant can get an allotment cancelled at his option and can get the refund of the amount paid on the share. If applicant found that the whatever allotment is made and it is irregular, at that time they can apply for the refund of the money to the company and can apply for the cancellation of the share allotment. It is important to note that in case of the irregular allotment, the applicant can get the allotment cancelled if any loss has been incurred him due to this allotment. See, if any applicant found that the whatever allotment is made is irregular and due to that they have to face a loss of such price, at that time he or she may apply for the cancellation of the allotment procedure. The time limit for the same is as under. See, within how much duration they have to apply for that. That is the first one. Application for cancellation of share allotment can be made within 2 months of the first statutory meeting. See, say for example, today is the first statutory meeting, and within 2 months, whatever applicant have to apply for the cancellation of the share allotment, if they found that the allotment is irregular, at that time they will apply for the same. Next one is the within 2 months of the allotment of the share, if allotment was done after the first statutory meeting. Say for example, I have conducted my first statutory meeting 1 month ago, but I will made an allotment at today. At that time, from today's date, within 2 months, I or so many applicants who have a doubt that the allotment is irregular, at that time within 2 months they can apply for the same. A director is personally responsible to compensate the loss to the company or shareholder if he willfully violates the provision of the statutory allotment or allows other to violate them. See, director is personally liable for the whatever violation of the rules and regulation is done, whether it is done by personally director or allow other to violate the rules and regulation. At that time, director is personally liable for the compensate the person. The process of the recovery of the such a loss must be initiated within 2 years of the allotment of share. Whenever allotment is done within 2 years, they have to get started the procedure for the compensation. So these are the basic rules for effects for the irregular allotment. Now meaning of the illegal share allotment. Now illegal. Allotment of the share is considered illegal under the following circumstances. Whatever allotment is done is considered illegal, and it is the circumstances that we are going to learn. First one is the share allotment is contract between a shareholder and the company. See, share allotment is a one kind of contract between the shareholder and the company. Such contract can be cancelled a valid contract only when all the essential elements which are required for a valid contract are present. See, it is only valid that because you are compulsory uh, applying compulsorily using the whole rules and regulations, not violate them. Any allotment made in absence of such elements is considered illegal. See, some elements is absent. At that time, the allotment is considered as illegal. First one is the offer. The applicant who wants to become a shareholder must have applied to the company for the purchase of share. Such application is called an offer. See, any person wants to purchase a share, at that time they have to compulsorily applied for the purchasing of such share, and whenever any person is applying for the purchasing of share is known as the offer. Next one is the acceptance of the offer. It is necessary that the company must accept the offer. When director pass a resolution for share allotment, the offer is said to be accepted by the company. If you have applied for the purchasing of the share, at that time it is compulsory that company should accept your application, your offer, and pass a resolution, and that is known as the acceptance of offer. Next one is the informing the acceptance of offer. The company must inform shareholders about the acceptance of application. When an allotment letter is sent to the applicant by the company, it is said that the acceptance of a share offer has been informed. See, if company accepted the application, at that time they have to compulsorily send a letter that we have accepted your application and you will be credited by the such share. At that time, that is known as the informing the acceptance of offer. Consideration. Consideration is said to be paid when the amount specified against the allotment is by the application. Means whatever finance you will pay against such share is known as the consideration. If shares are allotted against the provision of the articles, the allotment is considered illegal. If you have allotted so much share, at that time the whatever rules and regulations is considered as illegal. If shares are allotted by an individual director, it is said to be illegal. See, shares allotted by director, and it is not valid according to rules and regulations of Company Act 2013 as well as the SEBI's guideline. Director cannot allot personally to any shareholder. They have to allotted by a person, by a group only, otherwise allotted by a secretary. At that time it is known as the illegal. As per the Company Act, share can be allotted by board of directors only. Only board of directors means a group of directors through which you have to compulsorily allotted, otherwise it will not be acceptable. If shares are allotted by the violating essential provision for the listing of shares on stock exchange, the allotment is considered illegal. See, without observing the rules and regulations of the stock exchange, you are allot the share. At that time, it is considered as illegal. Illegal share allotment is void from the beginning. See, illegal is already void while from the beginning. No application is required to be made to consider it illegal. No application is necessary for considering it as illegal. Share allotment is illegal when the provision under the Companies Act or other act have been violated. If any single rules or regulation should be violated, at that time it is considered as an illegal share allotment, and it is the void from the beginning. Void means null, zero. Now you have to read the difference between the irregular and illegal allotment, which we have learned in detail. So in homework you have to compulsorily read this difference, and if you have any doubt you can ask me. From next lecture we are going to start the renunciation, the share, and before that you have to compulsorily read this difference and go through the whole video that if you have any doubt, then you can ask me. So keep watching this video for your betterment as well as your examination is concerned. Thank you very much.